half a bottle to go, which Dr. Tangent will dutifully take care of tonight. Hello, everyone, and welcome into my lair of the intersecting planes of music and beer. Tonight, we're looking to the dark side, going to enjoy something a little bit different. As you can see, special, corked and caged, must be something interesting, right? Well, tonight's beer is from a brewery in Williamsport, PA called Bullfrog. Been around a long time, actually since 1996. And they are kind of just affectionately known around Billstown, which is Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as the Frog. While they do have a very popular IPA and super solid traditional beers, what I feel they're really known for and excel at is wild fermentation and old style open fermentation sour beers. Typically, when you start getting into wild fermentation, open fermentation beers, it's typically done with much bigger beers, higher ABVs, and oftentimes darker beers. And that's pretty much where we're going to be going today. A little bit about Bullfrog first, though. This is from their website. Born of fortuitous circumstance and ambitious aspiration, we opened in August of 1996 with a committed, focal on local philosophy and a simple yet lofty goal: to be the place that people need to spend time, to brew beers that people need to have in their life, to offer food that people need to eat, and to offer live music that people need to hear, and to be the kind of establishment that our beloved staff need to work. Now, grammar aside, it really should be to be the kind of establishment at which our beloved staff need to work, or something along those lines. I find that quite mellifluous and impressive statement for a mission of a brewery. I've been there a few times, and I think they're living up to it. I mean, in a couple years, they'll be 20 years in business, which is pretty impressive for a craft brewery. And they do have really good food, and the ambiance is great. I've never been to a musical event there, but I bet they're probably pretty good too. But tonight we're drinking King's Sour Quad. This is quite an interesting beer. It's a traditional Belgian-style quadruple ale, fermented with our house wild yeast culture, aged in oak barrels, and then rested on Black Mission figs. So it is a soured Belgian quad with fig. I expect a ton of complexity on this one. But what you may be asking, what exactly is a Belgian quadruple ale, or as we call them, quads? Well, it is a category of beer that the BJCP calls a Belgian dark strong ale. And according to the BJCP, it is a dark, complex, very strong ale with delicious blend of malt richness, dark fruit flavors, and spicy notes. Now, you may hear the term from time to time, These types of beers, Belgian singles, doubles, triples, and quads, referred to as Trappist ales. And that is, it goes all the way back to 6th century Europe. After the Roman Empire crumbled in the 5th century, the Catholic Church was having a whole lot of trouble. And there was a lot of turmoil within the church. Saint Benedict, he wasn't a saint at the time, he became a saint later, but Saint Benedict stepped up and wrote a treatise on how to conduct monastic life, the rules that monasteries and monks should follow. And a lot of monasteries embraced that. Monasteries needed to provide for the monks, and sometimes that took more than just, farming, and more than just tithes and offerings from pilgrims and petitioners. So in Benedictine work, he outlined how monasteries could make themselves self-sufficient. And some monasteries turned to the brewing of beer, not only for consumption by the monks, but also for sale to provide revenue for the monastery to make it self-sufficient. Through the centuries, some of these monasteries, particularly in Belgium, became very well known for the high quality of their beer. There was one in particular called La Grande Trappe. In the 1600s, it became super popular, and that was the origin of the term Trappist ales, referring to ales made by monks from La Grande Trappe Monastery in Belgium. So there's the long story of that. I really am looking forward to this. This is a strong beer, like the description says, Belgian dark strong ales. This beer comes in at 14.5%. So we're well into the wine range of ABVs. So it's very strong and should be super complex, should be very dark. And let's open her up and take a look. It's definitely not a beer that you're going to rush to and pound down when you need refreshment. This is a sipper. I've had it sitting out for probably about half hour now out of the fridge to come up in temperature a little bit, because this is one of those beers that is going to benefit from being a little bit warmer than fridge temperature. Yeah. I can already. I haven't even started pouring. Just off of the cork, I can smell almost wine-like notes. Well, that is pretty darn attractive. Very, very dark. But it is not terribly hazy. Its opacity is purely from darkness. Decent amount of carbonation, little to no head, which is not terribly surprising. This has been aged and then rested on. Let's see if it has any type of age statement. Okay, this was bottled in 2018, October 11th, 2018. So it was fermented and then aged and then rested on figs and then bottled back in 2018. So this has continued to age in the bottle, which should make it very, very interesting. Getting so many aromas, and that's not even anywhere near my nose. That's awesome. So let's go in, see what we were working with here. Wow. Dark, fruity, leathery, almost some licorice notes. I get a little bit of fig, but I get all kinds of dark, dark fruit, like super dark cherries, blackberry, molasses. Really not any hop aromas to speak of. They're completely plowed under by the fermentation characteristics and the malt backbone. Malt wise, I get like a bready honey toffee thing going on. Wow. That is definitely a sipper. It is very enjoyable, but it is much more like drinking a wine or a cognac than it is drinking a beer. It is super complex, not terribly sour, not like puckering at all, but definitely leaves like a little bit of a tartness before it eases into a very dry kind of warm tobacco and leather finish. If you really concentrate on the front of the palate, you really do get some fruit. So you get the fig. I get some dark grape. Maybe like a Cabernet Sauvignon grape or something going on there. Again, giving that wine-like impression. Quite tasty. Quite dark. Quite complex. But what do we pair with this? Well, we're going to go with one of the kind of founding fathers of American prog metal, which may seem like an odd choice for something that is a contemplative sipper. But tonight we're going to check out King's X, something new from King's X, even though they've been around a long time. We're going to look at Let It Rain. So, enjoy. All right, everybody. This is King's X song called Let It Rain off of their 2022 album Three Sides of One. So it's pretty new for this group that's been around for 4 decades now. So let's check it out. was pretty good, wasn't it? I'd say so. A lot of layers to the song. A lot of layers to this beer. Holy hell. As it's warmed up, the fruit notes really start standing out more. Still get a little bit of like a musty licorice on the nose. But right up front is a very bright fruit note. Get fig, cherry, maybe some dark berries. It still gives way to a dry finish that really is reminiscent of like a fine cognac. Has that some of the more esoteric terms. If you haven't seen it yet, I did a short on flavor note terms and aroma note terms that might seem a little odd in what they actually mean, but you definitely get leather and fine tobacco on the finish. Definitely a sipper, as you can tell. I haven't even refilled my glass yet. Still have half a bottle to go, which Dr. Tangent will dutifully take care of tonight. But if you like what I'm doing here, give it a thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. When you do, also hit the notification bell, because I am putting out new content at least once a week, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of it. But more importantly, leave me a comment. Have a question? Leave me a comment. Have a complaint? Leave me a comment. Want to threaten my life? Think about it twice and then leave me a comment. Remember to keep looking for new things to try. And until we meet again, my friends, keep drinking.